generic and misleading compared to the advertisements, but it was kind of fun to play around with. Next, mobile game ads.
Hey, I just hacked into my boss's secret files. Enter these codes and you'll get $300 worth of in-game rewards. Just tap download and get 2,000 free summons.
Still suck. Surprise, surprise, nothing's really changed. A few years ago, I went over a handful of games comparing the ads with the actual experience. And now I think it's about time for round 2 to see if these companies have gotten any better or if they're still just as willing to blatantly lie about what these games actually are. Hint, it's the latter. Something a lot of ads do now is have these little playable demos that let you get a taste of what's in store. The idea is for these to act as a little hook, to let the viewer decide whether or not it's good enough to play the full game. But some games do this in a more misleading way than others. I'll let you be the judge on if these are false advertising, but if you ask me, they could definitely be more honest. So today I'll be looking at these demos along with the ads to see if they're the same. So once again, I ventured into the Apple App Store, downloaded the first Voodoo game I saw, and played it for about 10 minutes. Yep, the first thing I noticed is that most ads aren't even for normal games anymore, but instead are for these weird fake gambling casino apps that promise real money going straight into your PayPal.
Hey boss, I hate watching ads for more times. Can I play Cash Game without watching ads?
Download Solitaire Duels.
Great!
From today, if you download Solitaire Duels, you don't have to spend a single penny or watch a single ads. And you can win in as fast as 10 minutes.
Please don't fall for these things, they are most certainly scams. Anyways, welcome to more garbage ad games. The first game I'll be looking at is simply called Township. There are plenty of town building games on the App Store, but the thing that separates this one from others in the genre like Clash of Clans or My Singing Monsters is in the ads. The advertisements feature these little 3D animations of trucks in these little tycoon scenarios trying to build up their farming business. In the playable version, it's very similar. Playing as a farmer in a minimalistic art style, you go around harvesting crops and selling them to people for money, which you then reinvest in making more crops easier. It's a very simplistic tycoon, but seeing so much progress made so fast is decently entertaining, especially considering you're only going to be playing it for about 30 seconds. Anyways, the actual game is nothing like this. Nope, not even a resemblance. So first of all, see how everything here is in 3D? In-game, this is not the case. It could actually very well be the most generic 2D city builder I've ever seen. You play as the guy running your town, and the gameplay is exactly what you'd expect. The most bare-bones waiting simulator. Plant crops, get money, build houses, and level up. After the tutorial, the game asks you to name your town. I've decided to name mine Joe. Now, who's Joe, you might ask? I don't know. The animations on all the buildings are actually very well done. It makes the town feel a lot more alive, since there are actually people around. People I can watch as they helplessly suffer in their eternal imprisonment. Now it's time to build the grocery store. And for the sake of everyone in this town, it's important that it isn't too far away from their houses. So I put it right over here, right next to the abandoned mine. At some point I got the option to visit my good friend Ernie's town. I don't know who he is, but he was already in my friends list, so I'm sure we go way back. And man, this dude has no life. Look at all this shit. This city is massive. He's really doing all of this for less than 10,000 people. No wonder most of the streets are empty. He even has a special district just for his big towers. I will say, seeing Ernie's city has given me some inspiration. From now on, I'm gonna run this town like a true businessman. That means profit over everything else. Trees? Gone. Decorations? Gone. They're all just commodities to be sold for profit. At some point there was a guy relaxing on some chairs I was selling, so I sold him too. Freeloading loser. Ha! Should have been working, buddy. In conclusion, I highly recommend moving to the town of Joe. It's a lovely place with only a 10% chance that you'll be taken and sold to the highest bidder. But the best reason to live here is that the mayor is a very kind, down-to-earth guy who always has your best interest in mind. As for Township, I mean, it's whatever, I guess. Painfully generic and misleading compared to the advertisements, but it was kind of fun to play around with. Next we have one called Doomsday Last Survivors. The playable ad I got for it was one of the classic guy shooting forwards while enemy approach playables. In true mobile game ad fashion, despite playing it well, the boss at the end was impossible to beat, leaving the player, in this case, me, unsatisfied in a vain attempt to get me to download the full game. In this case, it actually worked because I'm making this video, but I'm actually really curious if anyone actually downloads games if the ads leave them unsatisfied. I feel like that would have the opposite effect, but so many ads do it that it has to work on someone, right? Doomsday has other ads too. At first, when faced with ads for a zombie game, I thought of these really weird ones with goofy characters running away from zombies, but those ads are actually for a completely different game. The ones for Doomsday are also pretty bad though, like this one, where a survivor goes underground. Just very cheap looking all around, and also not something that happens in the actual game. I have reason to believe that this game either doesn't like women or likes women a little too much. There is no in between. On opening, the game showed me these detailed menus, really hyping up how great this game looks. Man, I'm so excited. Okay, never mind. So it put me on some bridge and gave me the tutorial. Already, the game looks very different from the ads, though in this case, the actual game looks better. We finish battling through the zombie horde and are introduced to the overworld. Visually, this part of the game looks a lot like Mafia City or Game of War, a base building type game from an isometric viewpoint. Sort of like Township now that I think about it. Out of curiosity, I looked into the company behind this game, IGG Singapore Pte Limited. And they actually made a Game of War ripoff, so that's probably where the inspiration comes from. Getting back to the game, I need to play through more levels to clear the area and secure my new base. At this point, the actual level-to-level gameplay sucks. It's not misleading at least, but the amount of thought needed to beat levels is basically non-existent. From a gameplay perspective, all you do is move your dipshit characters to the right spot. That's usually whatever's right in front of you. Now I will say, it's funny to see your little guys all working together, just like it's cool to look at a bunch of ants carrying things. But I wouldn't play a whole video game about it. Wait, hold on. Actually, yo, this is kind of fire. Every time we beat an early game level, we get a little cutscene with actual cartoon voice acting.
Please, let us join you. Hey, look out! I'm shooting at you!
I really like that they try to make the apocalyptic world they're in as serious as possible when 99% of the game is just... Eventually, after one mind-numbing level after another, we make it to the boss.
We've got to take down this big guy.
You see this big guy? He be eating all of the little guy.
While incredibly simple, it was a nice break from the monotony of everything else, even if it's basically the same gameplay as before. With the boss killed, we can secure the area and turn it into our new base. But then more zombies show up, and Nora gets bitten. No! Not Nora! I've known her for only like 5 minutes, but I feel like we've already really built a strong connection. Sigh. Maybe if she wore any sort of armor to protect herself in the zombie apocalypse instead of being basically naked, this could have been avoided. We get the option to try to save her or to end her suffering.
Kill me now!
Okay.
I don't recommend that.
Okay? Why give me the choice to begin with? So now Nora's all tied up and gagged on a chair, and I'm sure nobody who made this game had any weird fantasies relating to this. Anyways, we need serum to cure Nora, and in order to get that, we have to go out and, you'll never guess, fight more zombies. The gameplay is not getting any harder. In fact, it's only getting worse. Now we have some heroes we can put on our team and use them to start off even stronger than before. Along the way, I even get to use a legendary champion for a level, so the game can show me how cool she is and why I very much definitely need to spend all of my money on getting her. So eventually we get a syringe of the serum and get back to Nora. Game? Why? Why, game? I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Sure, she's barely wearing clothes in a zombie apocalypse, but maybe she just likes living on the edge. Maybe she was gagged because as a zombie, she'd be at risk of infecting you or something. I don't think I can excuse whatever this is.
You won.
This is literally putting itself on the same level as the most unhinged Elsa Gate tier YouTube videos.
No, it hurts.
And she moans too! Okay, pack it up, fellas. It's over. So anyways, I need more serum because of course I do. I don't have an addiction. I'm perfectly fine. I just need it. I need more. And honestly, at this point, the boring, stale, uninteresting gameplay is preferable to whatever the hell's going on there. I beat some more levels, gambled a little on some new heroes like Andrew Morrison and Grandma, and finally got some more serum. And update, in order to save her, you have to inject her on every one of those points. There is no option to decline this. I'm not gonna show it because I'll literally get demonetized, but just let me play the audio so you get the idea.
My chest is warm.
Completely unrelated, but just so you know, this game has an age rating of 12+. Just gonna make that fact known. The idea behind this setup is actually pretty interesting from a psychological perspective. It introduces the main character and forces you to get 4 needles in order to save her with a 24-hour time limit, with the threat of turning her into a powerful zombie leader. This essentially forces the player into a rushed panic in which they feel like they have to play the game in order to avoid that outcome. Or to see a different one if they're like the developers. But here's the thing, the first 3 syringes are easy to get, but the last one is after what's conveniently the only level I couldn't beat, which is also conveniently after it shows off this other powerful character you could buy to beat it easily. Basically, the game is trying everything it can to get you to spend money, because after that,